So what are we doing tonight? Well, I just went to my local Asian store and I got myself some miso base. I paid $5 for this so I can show you how to make a very simple dinner. So what we'll be doing is we'll be putting this in a stock pot and we're going to be boiling it. I'm going to add to that some baby spinach, a couple of zucchinis, onions, probably more this red onion, a little cabbage. We're gonna try out and see how these fresh, these are from my garden, these are cucumbers. Of course we have to have mushrooms, so we're gonna put some portobello mushrooms in it. And we're gonna put some potatoes from my garden too. Come and watch how I put this meal together. Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living! Get yourself a stock pot, or if you are gonna cook this in a frying pan, like this, make sure that the frying pan walls are very high. To make it easier for me and for presentation, I'm going to use a large stock pot. Place in the stock pot the soup that you just purchased. Now, you gotta mix it a little bit because a lot of the sediments are at the bottom. So take a fork or a whisk and mix the bottom so you get all of the miso base. So you see, there's nothing left. Now put this on high. So I'm going to show you the flame. Okay, so it's on high. Now what you want to do is, while this warms up, we're going to be cutting our vegetables. You want to boil this, and then you'll be putting the vegetables in, and a few minutes later you'll be pulling them out. So let's get going on this. Alright, so you take your small zucchinis, and these are organic zucchinis. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the gourd end off. I've got a little bag here where I can throw my stuff. And that's why I keep on reaching for the sink. And I just like to take the tips off. Now if they're bad, these are a couple days old, when I pulled them out of the garden, I didn't get to them, just take off the skin off of them with a vegetable peeler. Okay, you just don't want to have any black or any bad looking skin. If I had just picked it today from the garden, I wouldn't have had that skin. You can see it right over here. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, so we're going to cut these together. And I'm cutting in about like an ½ inch, maybe a quarter of an inch. Just going to cut on like this, and I'm just going to have a little bit of them. I'm not going to have a lot of them. These are going to cook really fast in the miso base that's cooking right now on the stove. So usually when you go to an Asian restaurant, they have like a large platter. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mound the vegetables, in this case the zucchini, on one side. Now this is an experiment. I'm going to cook some of these. I've never cooked cucumber. This is fresh cucumber from our garden, and we're going to see how that turns out. Now the onion, simply cut the bottom off on both ends and peel the outer edge of take the skin off. So once you take the skin off, then what you're going to do is you're going to cut it, but you're going to cut up large. It's not going to be like these thin slices that you use in your salads. Okay, so we're going to start from this side. So what you're going to do is cutting it about a quarter of an inch thick. Most likely it'll probably fall apart on you. If it starts to be hard to cut off one end of it like this, and then the onion will stay stationary while you cut it. And then we just take this up and we're going to put it on one side of the bowl. Put this back on its edge. And when you have an onion that's really close, just be careful of your fingers. This is probably too thick, and then we have to cut this end here. Should have done that earlier. There, something like this. So then you take the rest and you sweep it in your sink. Now for this is a brand new container of baby spinach, which I just got today at Sam's Club. It's a science degree to figure out how to open it. These scientists come over here and show me how to open up my box. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's read the directions. Pull here. Alright, so when it comes to this, I will be pulling out a handful and dropping it in. Okay, the mushrooms, brand new container. Also got them from Sam's Club. And we're going to take a couple big ones. And I'm going to wash them real fast. Normally I don't wash my mushrooms, but lately the mushrooms have been coming back a little bit dirty. Okay, a lot of people don't like these stemmy things. See how that came out? So you can just take it out. You can put these in your soups. They work just nicely. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to do a large thick cut. See, you can see how thick that is? And that way we will have a taste of that mushroom. Now what really should be in here are like maybe baby white mushrooms, the little small ones. But this is what I have available. I really like portobellos. I use them in a lot of my cooking. They're really thick ones, can almost like replace like a hamburger. Of course it wouldn't be a hamburger, but it'd be a mushroom burger. Alright, so we're not going to use this onion. Potatoes, we're just going to use a couple. And these are fresh potatoes from my garden. And I'll wash them real fast. They really have already been washed. It's just nice. And I'm not going to peel them because I like the skins. And what I did do this time is I did cut these to be about a quarter of an inch thick. And I'm just going to lay them on one side here. The same thing with the potatoes. If you cut one little piece of it off like this, you have a base for it, and then the potato won't roll away while you're cutting it. It just prevents you from losing any fingers. I mean, I'm sure some people don't like to see little wedge cut off from the bottom of the potatoes. I don't think I have ever noticed that, so maybe I'm just not that. But anyway, so you take off the edge here, it's going to sit down, and then you'll be able to get the rest of the potato. Okay, this one here finally. Now this might be too much for this sauce, but you can always add water to it. So we have potatoes, mushrooms. Okay, so now we're going to go to the stove. Now we're going to go put this back at boiling. It just was boiling just a few minutes ago. Okay, so it's starting to boil. You can see the bubbles in the sauce. So if you want, you could do something like this. Alright, now you're going to take a handful like this, and you're just going to drop it in. And then you're going to put in all of these vegetables in there. The potatoes, then we're going to put the mushrooms in. Can't miss the mushrooms, they float. And then we're going to put in the onions. Now you don't have to use any herbs, or it's already in the sauce. Now what's left is the cucumbers, which is an experiment, and the courgettes, or in this case zucchinis. And you can pick this sauce off. Every Asian store I've been at sells their broth. We got a really good deal. We got one of these containers for a little bit less than $5. And it's full of delicious flavor. Now, you need to consider that miso soup has salt in it, and if this is a meal that you still want to cook the vegetables, you still want to have the miso soup, add more water to it so you can dilute the salt content. Make sure you don't add any salt to it. I tested it. You always test your sauce before you cook with it, and it was plenty salty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let it boil for maybe 1 to 2 minutes, not very long. Alright, so you don't want to boil these for much longer than 2 minutes, otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to lose the texture of your vegetables. So I'm going to be turning this off right now and putting it on a plate and eating it. So here goes I'm turning off the stove. You can tell almost instantly because the bubbles start. And I'm going to move the pot off the stove and we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so it's warm. So now you want the sauce. It's different than other soups. Of course, in other soups you want the sauce too, but in this case, the sauce is what makes it. So make sure you have a little bit of everything that you put into it. Mushrooms, all of the cucumbers, the courgettes, zucchinis, the onions. Okay, like this. And we'll leave the rest to be inside. See, I'm trying to look for the potatoes. Here's some potatoes. Funny how it is that sometimes hot meals like this can really make you feel cooler. Okay, so I'm gonna go eat my meal. Now but first let me give you a taste test. Okay, so let's try this raw potato. So for the potato, it's not completely cooked, but you know, maybe you just need a little bit more time. If it gets too cooked, then it'll be too soft. The cucumber tastes delicious. Here is the mushroom, and that has imparted the flavor. If I can get one of these rings to cooperate. So the onions are almost translucent, so I think they're ready. Alright, so I'm going to get myself a big spoon and I'm going to sit down and enjoy my meal. Thank you very much for watching. This is what it looks like. And I hope to see you in my next video.
If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.